Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin with me from ESPN Radio for the Upper Valley. Brett, thanks again for coming in.
Appreciate you having me, Jeremy.
And I don't know if it's just when you're in or if it's just all season long, but the Red Sox continue to not hit the ball, and we got to talk about that. Before we get into the off-field stuff, I know you're ready to get onto that, but we're going to talk about on the field first.
I just bring all the big topics to
That's
the
right.
show, you know?
And it just seems like the last time we had you on a couple weeks ago, we thought, okay, they'll get out of this funk, but it's continued right through after the All-Star break. Now we're 14, 15 games through, and they're averaging 3 runs a game. What can be done about this team? Anything?
I don't think any of it's surprising. I think, this team has struggled to hit the ball all year long. There's no power in this lineup. It's inconsistent. You look at last night, Mookie Betts, who's been a really good hitter. He was 0 for 6 last night.
Yeah.
You do get 6 hits out of the 2, 3, and 4 of the order, but they just couldn't muster a run when they need it. And that's kind of been the difference, without David Ortiz.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
When you needed that big hit, when you needed that big spot, he would always come through. And I guess we're a little bit spoiled because he's an eventual Hall of Famer and obviously has his number retired. So we're a little bit spoiled on that. But boy, this team cannot play to run when it needs it the most. And we've seen that a couple times this season.
Well, right. And you bring up the fact that Ortiz isn't here, and we all knew that the offense was going to fall off a little bit. I don't know, and maybe I'm just a little optimistic. I didn't think it was going to fall off this much. I mean, this has been pretty bad. They've gone through stretches that they've looked really lost, and now they bring up Rafael Devers. I don't know if he's long for the roster with the trade that they just got. Does it seem like a panic move this early? We knew he was coming up, but I think you thought, and I thought, September when the call-ups. Are they panicking now?
I think they're trying to see what they have.
Yeah.
And, obviously a move made late last night.
Right.
San Francisco Giants utility man, third baseman, Eduardo Nunez, who Yankee fans know very well. He'll be making his way over to Boston. I don't think he's you're going to be anything big on this team. He'll give you that defensive glove, but they need power. They have no power in this lineup. I think they're still dead last in the league in home runs hit this season, or towards the tail end of the bottom.
They are.
So they can't scrap a run here when they need it the most, and there's really nobody out of the market that you can really go in after and really get that solid bat. Years past, we've maybe had like Yoenis Cespedes, or you always have like that one bat
guy
that's available. But I guess the other question is, with Eduardo Nunez, what is with the Red Sox taking former San Francisco third baseman? We saw how well that worked out the last time, right?
Yeah, hopefully it's not another situation with that, as you mentioned, the Pablo Sandoval, who's now back with the Giants. I think he did sign back with the team, right?
Where else was he going to go?
On the minor leagues.
Where else was he going to go?
I'd take my $50 million and just be happy with that
exactly.
instead of ruining your career anymore. So the trades, you mentioned Nunez, obviously. They get him. He's going to help a little bit. He'll be able to play a few different positions, maybe give Xander a couple days off at shortstop. Is this probably it for the offensive side? And then maybe they make a move for a pitcher because there's not really a lot out there. I mean, people talk about Moustakas. Kansas City's still in it, and especially with Kansas City coming to town this weekend, that'll make some answers. Maybe if Kansas City loses 3 out of 4, maybe that happens. But this is probably it on the offensive side, right? Maybe a pitcher?
You think. Pitcher's got to be the next move for this team, and because Doug Fister's not getting it done.
Boy.
Eduardo Rodriguez did not really look good last night. He has gone 5 1/3 in each of his 2 starts since coming off the DL, and he's given up a total of 7 earned runs. I don't feel confident with him moving forward, and I said at the beginning of the season, I liked the hot start, but he gets injured, and once he hits like 150 innings towards the season, he falls off. So they do need to make a move for a pitcher, but they don't have much to give up. If you're going to go after Verlander, you're going to go after maybe Yu Darvish if the Rangers even...
So do you think they go after a starting pitcher, or a bullpen? Because I was thinking more of a bullpen.
I think they need both. I think they want to go both reliever more than a starting pitcher, but I think they need both.
No, there's no question that Doug Fister, you mentioned his name, and this guy, I don't know if he's on the roster too much longer because he has just been atrocious. And that's all they have in the bullpen, especially when they're going extra inning games, it seems like all the time. So, I don't know. I think they get a reliever. I don't know if they get a starting pitcher, but I think a reliever is what they need. So we have about 10 weeks left in the season. What is this team right now? What you expected them to be, or what are they going forward? They're obviously not a World Series team as constructed.
Listen, I've said it all season long. I've said it on the radio. I think this team is really fool's gold. Okay, the reason why they're really good right now is Chris Sale is just that good of a pitcher. He should be your AL Cy Young winner. They don't have him. This team's a 500 ball club at best, and that's really been the only move that has saved Dave Dombrowski, because we'll talk about him, I'm sure, later on.
Oh, yes, we will. But can they still win the division?
They can still win, because the American League is so bad.
Right, exactly.
So as long as you still have Chris Sale, you have a chance.
Right. And Brett mentioned his radio show. Don't forget, every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, you can catch him on ESPN Radio, 94.5 FM, 1400 AM, and 1230 AM in Claremont, and the replay here on this station from 5 to 6. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will mention that off-field fun, and I know Brett's got a whole bag of fun he's going to pull out when we come back. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.